Please give a warm welcome to Ron Keilholz.
I'm here to show you how to get back home if something bad happens, okay? Real quickly, preventive maintenance. You always want to just check your bike, okay? Make sure you got plenty of air in tires. If your tires are aired up properly, they don't go flat, they don't get punctured as easily. The other thing to check are cables. One place nobody ever looks because it's on the bottom of the bike, where everybody seems to miss looking, is, man, look at your bike, stand there going like this, okay, that looks good, everything. They never wear here, nothing rubs on them. Cables rub right here, a whole lot. 9 times out of 10, no, 5 times out of 10, they either break right there or right at the shifters. What's everybody's biggest fear when you're out on the road? Flats. And the worst ones are what we call catastrophic flats. Ones just like this. We're going to put a big hole in this tire. So what I did is I got my trusty little pouch right here. You'd be amazed what's all in this little pouch. There's not much I can't fix out of this pouch. CO2 inflator, Dawn dishwashing soap, CO2s for your CO2 inflator, 2, in case you missed the first time. Tire tools, patch kit, the MacGyver tool of bike repair. This is the best. Any good multi-tool is going to have a lot of different stuff on it. Pretty much anything you need. You don't have to get quite this fancy if you don't feel comfortable doing enough. More cables, more tubes, or patches. A little short piece of cable. But this little bolt that's in here has got a little hole in it that the cable goes through. A lot of times you see them on the old U-brakes on the bikes that goes in there. There's a reason to have one of those, and you'll see in a little bit. A piece of chain and a chain link for your chain. Tire boots, last thing. Does everybody here know pretty much how to change a flat tire? We'll run through this pretty quick then.
Well, I find that when I have big tires on the rim that it's really easy getting them off, but when I've got tiny road tires, I struggle. So if there's a trick to that.
Okay. The trick to that, if you noticed, I was just holding it, there's no air left in it. You see me just pinching it like this all the way around? Breaking the bead loose. Okay, if you get the bead broke loose on it all the way around, it comes off easier. The next thing to remember to do is take your valve stem, push it in. Okay? When I go to take them off, I start 90 degrees from the valve stem. A little trusty tire pull. Once you get started, you can usually hold it and then just kind of pull it right off. I always try to use the tire tools as little as possible. Look around the tire. There's my hole. There's my hole in the tube. But to find the hole, you know, I don't have a pump. I just open my valve, make sure it's loose, do this. And find the hole. The best thing to do is keep this one for your backup, saving time while your friends are standing there looking. If you got a spare one, just put the spare one in. It's the easiest way to do it. But we got to do something else first. Find that big hole. And that was pure luck. That hole is big enough, if you look at it, I can see the hole there, where you want to put a tire patch on there, or tire boot. If you don't have a tire boot, that's what the dollar bill's for. I usually take the dollar bill, fold it over in half, that way, And then on this one, it's a narrower tire. I'll fold it in half, just like that. And then, so I know where it's at. It's gonna end up going inside the tire, right over the hole. And what that's gonna do, it's gonna keep the tube from going through that hole. The Dawn dishwashing soap. Pain in the butt getting that tire back on there. Put a little bit on your finger. Okay, just dunk your finger in that. Put it around the bead of the tire. Like get as much of the tire on as you can. Put a little bit around the bead of the tire on the outside and the inside. Right there. And you're good to go. Tire will go on real easy. Second biggest fear, you break a spoke. What do you do when you break a spoke? First off, after you break it, you have to find where it came from, okay? Which side of the hub. There it is right there. They usually break right in the bend, right at the hub. But the next thing you want to do, we're working on this side of the hub, okay? We want to just get rid of this old spoke. We're not going to use it, okay? And all I did was unscrew it out of the spoke nipple. I left the spoke nipple in there, that's fine. Now what you want to use for your truing stand, when you're out there on the road, if it does it in the front, what you want to do is just use your brakes as your markers, okay? The little forks I got down there on the truing stand are nothing more than my markers. Because if you spin this, normally if you break a spoke, it's going to hit your brake pads, okay? If it's not too bad, then it's going to get worse the more you ride it. So you want to find that spot where the spoke's broken, okay? And we know the spoke goes this side. The way spokes work, why there's some on this side and some on this side. Spokes on this side pull the wheel that way, you know, towards that side if you tighten them. This side pulls them that way. First thing everybody wants to do is always tighten them up. Well, what happens when it breaks on this side, naturally the spokes on this side are going to get tighter, the spokes on this side are going to get looser. And they feel these spokes over on this side and they go, well, those feel loose, I probably got to tighten them. No. What you want to do is you got your broken one, we'll go, this one goes to the wrong side, we'll go to this spoke right here. We're going to put a half a turn on that one. We're going to go back up. We're going to put a half a turn on this one. No more than a half a turn. We'll go check it a little bit. We're no longer hitting the indicators. We turned two spokes half a turn and got it off that.
So you loosened or tightened?
I only tightened a half a turn on two spokes,
okay,
on the side that the broken spoke was, the
okay,
two closest ones. Now I'm going to find that spot again. The spokes on the opposite side of the one that broke, and I'm going to loosen them just a quarter turn. So I'm going to turn that in a little bit. I'm going to turn that in a little bit. And right there, it's enough. We'll start with breaking a derailleur cable. The rear derailleur cable just broke, and it goes to high gear. How do I get this to stay in an easier gear? Does anybody know what the two screws are that are marked H and L on the back of these?
They're limiter screws.
There's one that's marked H and one that's marked L. H is high gear, L is low gear. What you want to do is pedal your bike a little bit while you got in there. Push in with your thumb. Everybody see how I'm pushing that in? I'm making it shift gears. What it does, it takes the tension off those two screws. Nothing's touching them. I'm right in the middle gear. I'm going to take the H screw and run it all the way in. I'm now stuck in 7th gear. I'm doing a little better. I'm still not far enough. Your bike, the limiter screws aren't long enough. You always find a little piece of cable like this laying around somewhere, okay? And you guys probably got 100 of these little bolts laying around somewhere. So what I would recommend doing is getting you one. I'm actually going to get this bike all the way to low gear. Now all I'm going to do is I'm going to take this little cable.
So what you're using is a pinch bolt, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All I did was put my cable through there and tighten that up. I'm going to take my adjuster barrel back here. I'm going to run it all the way in. I'm going to take this. I'm going to feed it down through there and pull it all the way to that stop. I'm going to adjust my little clamp so my cable just starts to fit inside right there. And what I'm going to do at this point is I'm going to go back to when I turned this here. I'm just pushing in with my thumb. And I've got it up in low gear. I'm going to stop pedaling, grab back tire so it's not turned. I'll let go, it's going to stay. And I'm in low gear. The bike is in low gear in the rear right now. I'm just going to take that, put it where it fits into the derailleur, pull on the cable a little bit, because if I crank it, it's going to go to second.
Yeah.
All right?
So
Now I'm in second gear. I'm going to push it back over in first gear again, hold out with my thumb, and run my adjuster barrel out. I'm in low gear. Low gear is your friend. It might take you longer to get home. The front one, usually what we do is just take it off. I want my middle gear in the front. My front derailleur cable is about to break. If you notice, a lot of derailleurs have a little screw in the back. We're going to take that little screw out. Does everybody see where that little screw just came from? Right back here. In the base of your derailleur back here. Unfortunately, the front derailleur doesn't have any good way to do this easily, but it's still easy to change gears. I'm undoing the clamp on my derailleur. Taking that screw out, what it's doing, it's allowing me to spread, if I can, pull the rear derailleur off the bike. If you push forward on your derailleur cage, you get a bunch of slack in your chain. Yeah, you're going to get a little greasy. I'm in the middle chain right.